So the first question today is, how would you describe your leadership style and how do you think it's unique from the other leaders?
Leadership qualities, I think we all are born with are gifted with certain qualities when we are born. As a leader, you definitely have to be a very good listener. Number one, you have
How important are risks and what is the biggest risk have you ever taken? So it's like the leader is the one who takes most responsibility of everyone and
at
guides
most
in a proper way.
responsibility.
The month of October marks the Girl Up community's Club Challenge of Leadership Development. Here at Girl Up Mukti, we truly believe in the words that leadership development is self development. In this third episode, The Leader Insights, we'll be focusing on various aspects related to the concept of leadership and will provide you with insights on how to develop the leader that is present in each one of us. To take us through her lifetime journey of leadership, we have a special guest with us today. She has an overall experience of 22 years in customer service industry. She completed her MBA in human resource management and is currently the managing partner of Help Expat, relocation expert and a global mobility specialist. She's none other than Mrs. Simi Sujit. Welcome, ma'am. We are beyond grateful to have you here with us today.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. It's great to be here.
Thank you, ma'am. So let's begin with the interview.
Sure.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Lubna.
So the first question, yes, ma'am. So the first question today is, how would you describe your leadership style and how do you think it's unique from the other leaders?
So I think every leader has their own unique and a different style when it comes to being a role model or being a leader. In my case, I'm more of an engaging leader in terms of being actually supporting with the work itself. So I set as a role model by engaging and doing the work myself. So if we do have any sort of challenges that come through the process of helping employees to settle down, I am there to really be the hands-on to do the work itself if required. That is kind of how I show my team that this is what you have to follow. Every day might not be easy. There will be challenges through the path, and you just have to dive in deep and do it yourself. And that's kind of my model of being a leader.
Wow, that was a really nice one. Did you always have leadership qualities from the beginning, or is it something you developed over a time?
Leadership qualities, I think we all are gifted with certain qualities when we are born. So as I grew up, I was always a person who loved communication. I was creative by nature. I like to help people. So, all in all, I think with the years, as it passed by, all these all these qualities actually just helped me in the process of being a leader. And I think there's still a lot more to develop. I think every day is a new experience. So, yeah, it just keeps going on, learning new qualities as we go by. It's just a better version of yourself every single day. So
Yes, so it's like learning never stops.
learning never stops.
Yes. So how well do you respond to criticism?
It's a different attitude that I have towards criticism. I think in my earlier years, when I used to hear criticism, I was like, no, I'm not ready to accept any criticism. This is how I used to be in my early years. But I think as with age, you grow a little wiser. So you try to understand about criticism. Again, there is always two sides to anything. So there is also criticism where you feel that some of them are just blatantly criticizing you for something, and you don't have to pay heed to it. But then there are other ones where you feel that okay, there is a room for improvement. So I think you just have to use your conscious mind to see which criticism it falls in, and if there is somewhere there is a room for improvement, then always I take it very positively and I try to make the changes.
Wow. So how do you measure your own performance at work?
My performance at work, I guess I would not be the best person to say that. It should be, my team members, my colleagues who should be able to say that. But I try to create a very peaceful atmosphere, very friendly atmosphere at work, because I think that is very important. As you learn and as you go by, what you can learn is what not to do in life. When you work with different companies and over your experience in life, you just see, okay, how things could have been improved. So in terms of work, I try to create a much more friendly atmosphere, more flexible working atmosphere, where there is an open room for discussion. Nobody's scared to discuss their thoughts or opinions, and that's something I always prefer. I prefer a very transparent communication. I like to take ideas, because I don't believe anybody becomes successful on their own. It's together as a team. We always win as a team.
Yes, that's absolutely right. So, how do you always keep your team motivated?
I think the most important factor to keep any employee motivated is by paying them the right amount. So money is the biggest motivating factor for anyone. So you just need to identify the talent. If they are entitled to receive the compensation that they're asking for, then we always try and work with that. And we always have different sort of like sport bonus and gratuity, or I mean, we have different bonus programs within the working system, so that they feel motivated. So I think money is the biggest motivating factor for sure. Also, apart from that, we do make sure that everybody's acknowledged. So if we do receive a great feedback from a client, we make sure that the team is appreciated for their performance. We just make sure that we have team dinners, events, whatever, to make sure that we're working together as a team, because we strongly believe in the fact that nothing happens alone. It is a combined effort of the team. So it is very important to acknowledge that, and that is the only way you can have your employees stay longer with you. So that is very important, to make sure that they are happy every day. They come to work every day with a happy heart, and not, oh my god, this is another day of work. That is not the feeling we want to give them. So that is very important. That is something that we try to do as much as we can.
So, at the end, teamwork really matters, and the motivation as well.
Totally. It can, like I said, it has to be a team effort, because if it doesn't, and if your employee is not happy, it's going to reflect somewhere in the process. So it's very important that you have that clear communication. You explain to them. I don't believe in a system of going and telling them you did this wrong, but I believe in going and asking them, okay, something has gone wrong here, what we could have done to make it better. And there is a way to put across everything. You can always put it in a very negative way, whereas you can also put in a way where they are also being asked to make that improvement. And I think that works. So you just have to learn it over the process of how to manage your employees. It's all about people skills. You can get anything done, but you just need to know how to present it across to them.
Yes, absolutely. So, what advice would you give your 18 or 20-year-old self? Now, we all are of that same age. So, we really want to know an advice.
I have a lot of advice to tell my 18-year-old self, but I think apart from all this, the kind of advice I would tell my 18-year-old self is to live every moment. Just go by and just enjoy the time you have, and not worry or stress too much over what happens, and just believe in the process. Everything will fall in place. Because I think over time, as you go by, it just matters to be there in the moment, not thinking about the future too much, not over worrying. So yeah, that's probably what I would say. Just enjoy and live the moment and make memories.
Yes, that's absolutely we are trying to do as well. So,
Yeah.
what skills do you think are crucial that one must have when it comes to leadership?
Leadership, like I was just saying before, it's a combination of many skills. You need to have a very open mind to listen. You, as a leader, you definitely have to be a very good listener. Number one, you have to be able to understand what everybody wants, be it the team, be it the client. So you need to be able to cater to what anybody wants. So that is the most important factor. You need to have a vision, a vision of where the company is going. What is the future for the employees? There should be a growth strategy in place. So that's very important. You need to um, be able to be a role model in all the sense. Like you just have to show them as the role model what can you do. So it can be like, the process can change every day throughout. And with any process now, for example, we are doing relocation. So when we do relocations, when expats come, their kind of expectations are changing. As the world evolves, the expectations keep changing, and the expectation goes very higher as time goes by, in terms of finding a home, in terms of finding a school. And it's very difficult to get appreciation from people anymore. People, they want to give very little appreciation, I feel. Not all of them, but there are people. It's a tough job to say, hey, well done. So you just have to be constantly innovative as to how you can, be a good leader, how you can do something different. So it's like I said, it's a continuous learning process. But as far as you have the empathy, you have creativity, you have innovation, as far as you are very understanding, you are a good listener, you can bring up new ideas, you're open to change, then it'll all fall in place.
Yes, so leadership also comes with learning from others as well.
Totally. And you always learn from others. It doesn't have to necessarily be necessarily who's senior. You can maybe be having a discussion, you're doing a brainstorming process, and then you could have someone who's relatively new who brings up a great idea. Because I mean, the generation is different. Like you have now millennials, and then you have Gen Y, you have all different generations. So everybody is coming with new ideas. Probably the newer generation will have a lot more ideas with related to technology and how you can handle processes easy compared to a generation before. So it's always good to look at ideas. You need to evolve. You have to implement new ideas, and that's the only way you can sustain, because otherwise sustainability is a big factor as well when it comes to a business. So yeah, you have to always keep learning from everyone. It could be anybody.
Yes, that's absolutely true. So how important are risks, and what is the biggest risk have you ever taken?
Okay, so rather than risks, I would probably rephrase it to say chances. You have any sort of chances. Then when you run a business, there is always an element of risk. I mean, it could be with making a decision about something, and not always. You just have to trust your instinct and go ahead and decide, okay, this is a risk I want to take. It could be a huge project. It could be something very new that you haven't tried, and you have this client who's asking you a request, and you want to cater to their requirements. So it could be anything. And if you're confident in what you do, and if you have the skills, then I think you should go ahead and take the risk. And the biggest risk so far till date is 8 years before, when I set up Help Expat. It was a very big risk. I had to quit. I decided to quit a very appealing job that I had, as well as my husband also decided to quit. So we both decided to quit and start a business at a time which everybody wasn't too sure, but we strongly believed that this could work. So if I hadn't taken that risk, maybe I would have still been working somewhere. So you need to take the risk, but at the same time, not just jump into the risk. You have to plan it very well. But if you've done that very well, and you've done all your risk analysis very well, then there is a very high chance for success. But you take it. It doesn't matter. You win or lose. There might be times where things could go wrong, but it's okay. It's all part of the learning process, so it's fine.
Yes, so it's like grabbing the risk and turning into the opportunities.
Definitely. You have to see it as an opportunity, because you don't get opportunities all the time. So when you get it, you just grab it and you go ahead for it. You just have to, you can't think twice.
That's absolutely correct. So, in this competitive world, how can we create a unique selling proposition for ourselves?
So, to create a unique selling proposition, it is very important to understand the industry. So when Help Expert was set up, it was very important to look at what everybody else was doing. So when you have so many competitors, it's very important to understand what they're offering, what is their pricing model, uh, what is their key or what is their key points, what is the unique selling point. It's also important to understand how do they differ from other companies. So whenever any business is set up, it's very important to make sure that a good market research is done to understand. It's also good to network with companies and business owners of similar setup, so you will get ideas. So it helps you to understand how can you be different in offering the service to the clients. And I think it will always come with a unique selling point, because that is where you're trying to do something different. I mean, you want to create a brand yourself which is different from someone else, and that can only be possible when you understand what somebody else offers. And once you know that, and once you can deliver something different, you can make a unique situation, or you can create something unique for your organization, then you're already competing with them. And yeah, I think almost every companies would be doing the same strategy, but it's very important to uh, look at what others are doing and learn from them, and try and create something different. So if you
So,
ask our
basically,
USP or our unique selling point, which is a secret, I shouldn't be telling you, but still, we actually believe in making sure the client is responded very promptly with the right information at the right time. Now, I know that everybody says that, but I believe that so many of them not really follows what they say. But I can say that we are very strong with that. Be it a weekend, be it a weekday, any of our clients come back to us, anybody who approaches us, we have the same approach. We get back very quickly, very promptly, with all the relevant information that they require. And many times we've had clients who have come back and said that we've chosen you over other because you were just very quick, prompt, right information at the right time. So time is money. People are not ready to wait. So that is our USP.
so yes, that was wonderful. So, what advice would you give to young aspiring leaders?
Ah, good question. I think when I look at young aspiring leaders, I have also leaders growing up at my home. What I would say, or what I think the young leaders have to do, is to be very determined. I mean, when you have made a decision, or when you have decided, okay, this is how I'm planning to go ahead. Uh, Sometimes I feel that younger generation, or I could be wrong, they are sometimes not ready to do the hard work for a long time. So I feel personally that anything, setting up this company was not a success come through overnight. Like, it didn't happen overnight. It had to take its time. Now I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you after 8 years, so there was a lot of hard work behind this. So what I do have to tell the young generation is to make sure that you have your dreams, but you work hard towards your dreams. You don't give up. It might take days, it might take months, it might take weeks, it might take even years. But if you are determined, if you are having the passion, if you're having the right attitude, things will work, will fall in place. You just need to be patient, and you just need to be doing what you think is right, and then the rest will come.
Wow, that was a really good advice. And I think hard and the way for the success is only hard work.
Yes, there is no shortcut to it.
Yes.
Everybody has been trying to find a shortcut, but I don't think there's any shortcut to it. You have to do your hard work, and you cannot just set up something and just think, oh, you know what, it's okay, it'll just happen. You have to work hard. You have to go every single day with the same passion, with the same love for it, like you had gone on the previous day, and only then it will work. And when you do that way, you will see a lot of difference. I'm sure all the successful people around will agree to this.
Yes, as youngsters, we'll definitely keep this in our mind. So, our last question for the day is, what, according to you, differentiates a leader from a boss?
A leader from a boss. So usually a boss or a manager is someone who is given certain tasks to do, and their job is just to make sure the task is done, and that's it. When it comes to a leader is someone who is going to bring a solution or be there to do it if nothing happens. For example, in our industry, like for example, if we are doing a home search and we are supposed to go ahead and find something, the manager is going to make sure, okay, the work is done. Okay, you have to do a home search, you have to go ahead and show properties, and that's it. And let's say there's a challenge, and for some reason one of the employees could not go ahead and show the properties. And if it's a leader will actually go themselves and do it for them. So it's about leader is someone who will always try and make sure that things are done in the right way. There is always a solution, because there'll be challenges and they'll go ahead and do the solutions. Whereas a manager is more kind of making sure the task is done. That is how you could look at it in terms of difference.
So, it's like the leader is the one who takes utmost responsibility of everyone and guides in a proper way.
Exactly, to guide, and that is how you feel a leader as a role model. I mean, manager
Yes.
does their task, but you see, it inspires you when you see a leader.
Yes. So, thank you, ma'am. So, I think we are done with my side of questions. So, over to Reina. It was really nice speaking to you.
Nice talking to you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I have one bonus question for our audience for you. So as an entrepreneur, as someone who started your own business, some real life experiences from you. We want to know some real life experiences.
Wow. So real life experience, I'll tell you a very interesting experience that I have. So we set up the company, and we were very interestingly, just waiting for our first client. And so we weren't sure, maybe it's just a home search program, or maybe it's just finding a school, and we weren't too sure. And then we get to know there is one very senior assignee moving from Netherlands to Dubai. And we were like, okay, wow, we've got a high profile move to begin with. This is our very first job. We are just sitting and waiting for the job, and we are doing our first job. And then we speak to the assignee. We have something called a briefing call to understand, what all services we are supposed to be doing. So when we speak to him, he says he is moving with his family, his 2 children. And then he says, by the way, I do have a cat to relocate. I'm like, wow, okay, so you have a cat. Great. And then he says, not just that, I have a dog as well. And we are like, oh, wow, so you have a dog as well to relocate. He's like, yeah. But most importantly, I have a horse to relocate. And we are like, oh, God, it's our first client, and we're having like a full package, not just human beings, but we also have so many pets to move. So that was a very interesting first case. I mean, we'll never forget that client, because we always tell to all our employees and clients that our first move was moving a horse, a cat, a dog, and the full family. So that's something which we always have as a memory. I still have a picture with the horse next to me.
That was definitely one memorable moment for sure.
Very memorable.
So as we come to an end of this interview, thank you so much, ma'am, for taking time out of your busy schedule to have this conversation with us. And
thanks to you.
It was such an insightful and inspiring session. And at the end of this powerful session with a powerful woman leader, we would like to leave you with this powerful words. Great leaders don't set out to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. It's never about the role and always about the goal. Thank you.